Can I use your toilet?
If I don't push those buttons, no one's ever going to hear me. Hi, Ben.
Hi, Jeff. You're pushing all my buttons right now.
That's right. I'm hearing two of you because I need to go in here and click mute. It's
you
kind of
didn't
nice.
mute me.
You got a cool retro type of echoey effect that I'm kind of into.
Retro. Oh, yeah.
It's kind of cool, but I'm gonna mute it for now, and maybe we'll play.
Okay.
We'll play. With
I'm
that
just
a little.
normal now.
Yeah, you're just normal now. So it's been a week. Have you thought about what we talked about?
I have, and I think that at the end of the day, it all came down to who wanted it more. You know, we both put 100% out on the field.
I've always said, that it's 18 inches of daylight is pretty much all you would need, and
any given Sunday.
Yeah, you.
It's a good movie.
I never saw it. It's a football film, right?
It is, with Al Pacino. It's maybe one of my favorite sports. It's definitely one of my favorite sports movies.
What are your other favorite sports movies?
Oh boy. Obviously not a lot of nostalgia for Mighty Ducks and Mighty Ducks 2.
Mm-hmm.
What are the classics, man?
For
and
me,
like Sandlot, it's a lot of like 90s era kids sports movies. I'm trying to
Okay, sure.
Out of that bubble.
Yeah, Air Bud.
Excuse me.
Air Bud 2.
Oh yeah, somebody in the chat reminded me about the Titans. I had almost forgotten about the Titans, but I just managed to remember them.
Try to not forget the Titans. I like Major League.
Yeah.
I'm a Major League fan. I'm trying to think like other movies about sports that I care about. I don't know that they're like when I was a kid,
Rocky.
I liked Bad News Bears.
I guess the Rocky movies count.
Oh, sure. I'm not a big Rocky guy, but
Rocky 1 is legitimately a great motion picture. Rocky 4 is a lot of dumb fun. And that's kind of where I end on the Rocky.
What about Ready to Rumble? Did you ever see Oliver Platt?
Only familiar with the game.
There's other.
If it doesn't have Afro Thunder in it, I don't.
It does not. It does not have Afro Thunder in it. It is a It is the WCW wrestling movie.
Oh.
Yeah, that's an appropriate. I feel like that's a very appropriate response to that. David Arquette is in it.
Okay. Wow.
And then it led to him becoming, as part of the promotional cycle for that film, he actually became WCW champion in like their regular television shows, which is ridiculous.
That is pretty ridiculous. One more sports movie that I remember enjoying a lot, and I should probably revisit, is Shaolin Soccer.
Oh, sure. Yeah, Shaolin Soccer. I remember liking that.
I recently watched Kung Fu Hustle again, and that was a lot of fun.
I don't
my
know
partner
that I
and I
ever
want to
saw
do the. It's from the same folks.
Yeah.
There's a like landlord landlady combo that are really great characters, and that we wanted to cosplay.
Oh yeah.
Before, when going outside was an option.
Yeah. Well, you can cosplay in the home. Some people are doing that. Some people are like, look at me. I dressed up in 9 different outfits for a video I made for TikTok. And I'm like,
I was going to say, I will only cosplay in my home for a TikTok.
Yeah. And I'm just like, God, I don't have the time or energy or patience for any of that. Why? Who would do that?
TikTok?
I can't get back into my TikTok account.
What will happen to Fred Durst 2000?
I think it was Fred Durst 3000. I forget.
Oh, shit.
Maybe that's the problem. No, I tried all of the password recoveries I could think of, and none of them are resulting in me actually receiving a password recovery email. So
yeah, try Fred Durst 2000.
Yeah, no, it wasn't even. I wasn't even as far as the username. It's like it wants an email address or phone number or something like that. And, and all parts of that were just like nah. And so now I don't remember how I signed up for TikTok.
You're probably like, well, I'm never going to actually use this. Let me just put some bullshit in
I've
here.
got some burners that I usually use for that sort of stuff. Maybe I'll try those.
I checked my like oldest burner email account the other day for something I needed verification on. It had 74,000 unread emails.
Great.
It was like one of my first email addresses.
Did you read them all?
No, I just want to see how big the number goes. I want to see how big AOL let me have.
Yeah. Before they're like, hey, you're out of space. Always Be Clothing says, Facebook wants a scan of my driver's license to get my account back. And I said, hell no.
Yeah, they started doing that. My same thing happened to my partner. They want to like, no fake accounts, no more fake bots. So just give us your driver's license. And...
Yeah, I don't. That doesn't. Maybe just let that one go. At that point, you're just like, maybe I don't need that account after all. Maybe I could start another one. Or what if I didn't? That might also work too. I don't know. I still have a Facebook. I'm still like managing, or I'm still like the creator of the Giant Bomb Facebook page, so kind of locked into it, I guess. For that, we're here. It's the after show. Welcome everybody. We're here doing our thing,
culture jamming,
and hanging out with y'all.
The French champagne.
And we're here to take your questions from chat, and we have some voicemails lined up. That voicemail number, if you want to send us a voicemail, 707 exit flu is the phone number.
8358 394 8358 707 83 707 387 707 exit flu is the number.
Yeah, give it a call.
Call us at 3 a.m.
That's you're awake. It's 3 a.m. I was awake at 3 a.m. I was awake at 3 a.m. Let's see here. Any more jumping into Fallout 76 from Johnny Highwind? I'm not really planning on it. You
fun story of why I started playing Fallout 2.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to request a refund on Fallout 76. And then saw that it was like, you're going to lose access to Fallout 2 and Fallout 1. And I was just like, oh yeah, I forgot these came with it. And started playing Fallout 2.
Well, all right then. So now they got you. They got you.
Yeah, they got me.
Yeah. Gregory Zero asks, enjoying the weather or hating the weather? It's getting into the 80s here. Is it? What's it? You're further south, so
it's like 83.
Yeah.
Today.
Yeah. So we don't have air conditioning. No one here had air conditioning when these houses were built. Some people have added it after the fact, but I was originally planning on getting air conditioning because now there's a baby, and it made sense to be like, we should probably be able to keep the house cool. But then all this happened, and the idea of having someone come in to install stuff doesn't seem like a smart thing. So no air conditioning. Not that you need it for the 80s, but it's eventually going to get, mid-90s or something like that.
Right,
probably
and you
at some
can't
point
just
here,
be like,
so.
let's go just drive to the coast and we'll go to the beach. No.
Let's get an ice creams.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just can't. You can't do it. So
I might get a window unit. I don't know. This office, especially too, with the computer and everything, gets real hot.
I've got a window unit, but we don't have. It seems to really want you to have the up and down windows for that.
Oh, we only to hold it.
Yeah,
right?
to hold the exhaust tube or whatever.
We only have left rights,
and we only have left rights, except for a couple that are not in the room where we would put it. So I have a board and an elaborate system of things I can use to jam it in a sliding glass door, and it's an ugly, but at least somewhat effective solution. Speaking of somewhat effective, I've got this rigged up voicemail system here. And so why don't we take our first voicemail?
It's 3 a.m., boys. Is Mario fantasy or science fiction? And if it is fantasy, is Mario himself a wizard for all his fire powers and stuff? Thank you.
I mean, it's definitely, they're in the Mushroom Kingdom.
Yeah, it is definitely not science fiction.
There's a princess.
Yeah.
Magic Koopa.
Uh-huh. Yeah, there's magic, but like I feel like there's an alchemy or some kind of thing. When you think about the properties of I ate a flower and now I can shoot fireballs, or I ate a mushroom and got large.
Right.
That ain't sci-fi.
No. There's very little technology now that I'm thinking about it in those games at all in the mainline aside from like Mario Galaxy where he's in space or whatever. But
or like and maybe I was gonna say maybe Mario Galaxy kind of shoots this in the butt here, but I was gonna say are the games that do have technology the worst Mario games because the technology so Sunshine.
Mario and Rapids.
Yeah. Well, airships. Okay, let me ask this then: is Mario steampunk?
Oh shit! Yeah, I really think so. The Magic Koopa screams like I feel like that dude is very into steampunk. I'm trying to think.
A lot of pipes.
Because it is, we have established that it is fantasy, but there's no swords, there's no bows and arrows.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like
there are hammers.
There are hammers. They're typically thrown. No, they're way. Oh, also, you know what else throws a wrench into this? Donkey Kong, like the game Donkey Kong.
That's what Donkey Kong does. He throws a big wrench into this.
He's very industrial. You're climbing up girders.
Well, okay, think about this though. Donkey Kong is real. That could happen. But
sure.
Mario, the character from Donkey Kong, accidentally got in a pipe and came out the other end in the Mushroom Kingdom. So Donkey Kong doesn't live there.
But who's the guy he plays tennis with?
Okay. You know how the one dude who how the agent got in that dude's body and got out of the Matrix?
Yes.
That's how all the tennis games and all that stuff happen. Like all the Koopalings and all that, they come out of the pipe into the real world and they play tennis. Depending on which stage you pick. I mean, some of the stages are in the Mushroom Kingdom and everyone has to go through the pipe into the Mushroom Kingdom and play there.
Do they know that before they sign up for the tennis tournament?
Yeah, it's like it's like here, it's like when you sign up to become a professional baseball player, you know where the stadiums are, right?
Right.
Same exact thing. Same exact thing.
Like how many passports you're going to need or
yeah. And like, is the league going to provide those passports or whatever? Yeah.
I need 9 passports because we're going to Monaco. It's like, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So Donkey Kong is real. That's real reality. That's like ripped from the headlines.
Pauline is a human woman.
Yes. Donkey Kong is a Kong gorilla.
Mm-hmm.
And
where does math fit into this?
Math is real.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So Donkey Kong Jr. math, like that's definitely happening in the real world.
Do you think math exists in the Mushroom Kingdom?
No. No, Mario brings that. That's the thing. Like that's Mario counting to 100.
Oh.
That's him bringing his like real world ideals of collecting coins.
100 coins is $1, which
exactly. He's bringing that to that world that doesn't really. They just leave the coins everywhere. They don't even care.
So you're saying there's maybe like a split timeline where maybe the Mario we meet in Mario Galaxy is from the real world before he like it's like how Link's Awaken or the Legend of Zelda,
the Hero of Time,
he splits at the end of and the Ocarina of Time. It's like the Mario goes down the pipe, but simultaneously doesn't go down the pipe.
Definitely,
creates two different.
And so that's the thing. The weird thing about Luigi is that he's a failed clone.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, we're rewatching all the Star Wars, and I really am not looking forward to watching Rise of Skywalker again. The more I think about that movie, the sadder I get. It just left such a bad taste in my mouth.
And especially, it's something that you probably saw pretty recently anyway, so like you're kind of...
I like 2 of the prequels more than I like that movie. Which is it's not something I thought I'd ever say.
I still haven't seen any of the last 3. Last Star Wars I saw was Rogue One. And...
I need to watch that one again.
I liked it.
Yeah,
I remember
liking it.
Yeah, it was fun. And I keep thinking, like, one of these days I'm going to go watch Han Solo in Solo. And
If you watch that movie
Mm-hmm.
and as soon as you start it, you forget and ignore that it's Han Solo and just pretend it's like a guy
Yeah.
named like Jimmy McSpaceship,
Yep.
it's going to be a lot better. It's a decent movie at that point.
Okay.
But if you're watching this and being like, this guy is not Han fucking Solo, it's going to be a bummer.
But it's like he's a kid. He turns out differently. Like he grows up and becomes Han Solo, right?
Let me. The scene where he gets his name is one of the most. I like pounded my fist on the table and screamed.
Jimmy McSpaceship?
Yeah.
Yeah. So wait a minute. That's not his name?
I will let you find out. It's one of the first scenes in the movie.
I already hate this. The idea that his name is not just Han Solo. And he's like, yeah, my brother Dave Solo.
It's worse. It's like, you know that Family Guy goof of where he's like, what's your name? And he looks around the room and he sees a P and a tear and a Griffin. And he's like, Peter Griffin. It's basically that.
But he looks at he looks at a Tokyo Drift poster and says Han, and then looks around and doesn't see anybody else.
Yeah, he looks at the Fast.
Looks at his hand and he's got a red cup and he goes, cup. And then for the first third of the movie, he's known as Han Cup.
Han Cup.
That's a movie I would watch. Yeah, I don't know. There's definitely I would like to see the Sonic the Hedgehog movie at some point. I feel like I should.
Yeah.
I need to watch the animated Mortal Kombat movie that just came out pretty recently.
Well,
I've heard good things.
Jeff, why don't you play the second to last? No, I can't find out. We had a voicemail. It was like, what's the best video game movie? I did not label these. I should probably give a one-word label these so I can. But anyways,
I'm just gonna play them in order. That's labeling things. Who has time?
Since we're probably, what do you have any video game movies that really stand out to you?
It might be the first Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, that's really fun.
Yeah,
it's got some. I don't know how recently you've seen it, but it has some incredible bad CGI.
Oh, I bet all the Goro stuff or whatever, right?
And Scorpion and Reptile. Reptile is specifically his camouflage shit. Looks so bad. Yeah,
and then Scorpion's got the weird his hand opens up and the spear comes out, right? They do that's in that movie, right? Yeah.
The Street Fighter movie is fun.
Yeah,
it's not an amazing film.
No, yeah,
cheesy.
I guess that's the thing. Is it what's your favorite video game movie, or is it what's the best video game movie?
I'll say the Takeshi Miike Phoenix Wright movie that came out. I don't know 4 or 5 years ago is a good movie and B a really good retelling of that first game. It's pretty good.
You know what I really want to see, and it's not a video game movie per se, is that Lupin the Third, the first.
Yeah.
That came out in Japan last year. I'm looking now because I'm curious to see if they ever did a subtitled version, if it ever came out anywhere. I don't know that it came out in December, so maybe it's not even out any kind of home video format at all. But the trailer looked so fucking crazy. It's like the Guilty Gear of movies or something.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, the look of it, I just was fucking blown away by the trailer. So I kind of want to see how the hell that thing looks.
I started watching Little Lupin for the first time.
Yeah.
I watched the Miyazaki one, The Count of Cagliostro.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, it's all right. They did a Laserdisc game with they called it Cliffhanger here, but they made a shitty Dragon's Lair out of some of that footage. I think it was the castle. I think it was that, but yeah.
I'm looking forward to the Monster Hunter movie. I don't think it's going to be good, but I'm looking forward to it.
I think that was the same. Like I was looking forward to when they said like we're gonna make a Tetris movie and an asteroids movie. Back when that was like Atari's scam and it wasn't like all the way advanced to hotels and cryptocurrency. I was like, yeah, I would love to see them try to do. I would watch a Tetris movie. That sounds like a terrible idea.
What is the plot? Give me your like elevator pitch to the plot of the Tetris movie.
I think it takes place in space, and they are mining, and they are loading the ore into different shaped ore vessels, and you've got pilots that are flying freighters that have these different shaped pieces on them, and they have to fit them just so. And then something happens that endangers them, and someone's got to blow up a bunch of the lines to clear out some space because the ore is bad.
Okay, how about this? It's a gang of teens, and there's some sort of like thing going on, and the blocks are coming down and down, and they're managing them, but there's an empty column on the right just waiting, and it's filling up, and they're like, you have to go find the mythical lion piece, and it's all about the search for the lion piece. Like that's your like, you know, MacGuffin that everyone's going after.
Yeah.
And at the end, like the main character or the best friend sacrifices himself and just like does one of these and just jumps down the thing and becomes the lion piece.
Are they all wearing like the same type of sweater, and they're all the colors of the Tetris pieces?
There's like stocky short guy who's the you know, block piece. There's a twins who are the two zigzaggy pieces, and
yeah, they're twins, but they're also complete opposites. It's ridiculous.
Right.
Yeah,
they're like a Zaymot. What are those guys?
Tomax and Zaymot, the leaders of the Crimson Guard.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Let's get another. I'll hit something on the next voicemail here.
Hello, 3 a.m. boys. It's Nate from Minneapolis.
Damn,
I am watching Doom 2005 movie starring The Rock. I called earlier about asking if I should. I did it anyway because, well, you know, it happens. This movie is bad. I was just wondering, is there a good video game movie? I have not seen Sonic yet. I've heard it's okay, maybe. Is there a good one? Is there ever going to be a good one? Is there going to be a great one? That's all I got. Love you guys. Peace out.
Since we kind of already answered it, Jeff, what game do you think has the potential to be the best video game movie?
The potential to be the best video game.
Like if you had to make a video game movie and you could choose any game to be the, like, you know, it's the blank movie. What game would you pick personally, and what game would you pick thinking like this is going to make us the most money?
I mean, I think there is definitely room for a Mario movie.
Sure.
I mean, they are making one. Yeah, I mean they're making one, and then obviously they made one before, but
no, they didn't.
No, they did. They made that. Humans made that. But I think like in terms of just like what's like the biggest moneymaker that's, you know, that's not Pokemon or whatever. But I think a well done animated Mario movie is a very smart thing for them to do, and I think it's very easy to do. Like, hey, the princess gets kidnapped and Bowser is there, and you've got to stop him. Like, it's very. You know, it doesn't need to be too much more than that. It's what happens to him along the way that is the thing. You know, it doesn't, like, I think that can be the main plot of it, and it works.
I'm on the IMDb page for Super Mario Brothers the movie 2022. Here's the plot. A plumber named Mario travels through an underground labyrinth with his brother Luigi, trying to save a captured princess. Feature film adaptation of the popular video game. Writer Shigeru Miyamoto.
Sure. Yeah. That's all legit and based on the actual script, and not just someone going, "What's Super Mario Brothers about?" and hammering it into IMDb.
Who's your Bowser voice? Give me who do you get as King Koopa?
Danny DeVito.
Oh, that's so good. Oh, that's really good. I feel like I might lean someone a little more threatening.
I think like you put a threatening vibe on him in the final confrontation where he finally gets mad and the background gets very dark
like
and he gets like gets like larger than life and he's
Mega
fucking
Bowser.
really angry. Then I think you do some stuff to Danny DeVito's voice for that scene to grit it up a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah. I think that's my pick.
Who voiced? I forget the name, but I think the guy who voiced Kratos could do a good Bowser.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah. Well, I guess like, what do you want? Like, do you want like I envision every character in a Mario movie to be a little self-deprecating or like there's a humorous streak through the film where it is that kids movie smart alecky shitty tone that
everyone's got to like have a quirk that appeals to a certain subset of children that they can identify to and get the merch for.
Like if you've got a foot fetish, Bowser's for you, like that
Exactly.
you know, something like that. Yeah, so I think that's why I would pick Danny DeVito as opposed to someone who just actually has a spooky, scary voice. Is like I think you want that comedic streak through damn near every character because he's going to be like fucking up all over the place. That's why he loses, because he fucked up and was supremely confident, just like every movie villain ever or whatever. But yeah, I mean that's why I would go that way.
I would love to see a Turrican movie.
Yeah,
he's got such a cool gun. I think it would look really cool with like high budget CG, the like whip laser gun.
When I think about
like big giant heads and shit.
Yeah, when I think about Turrican, I think about Universal Soldier. You know why I think that? I want to say there is a Universal Soldier game that is just a reskinned Turrican game. Now that I think about it. Maybe there's actually a reason that I think that. I need to look that up now. Okay, there's a Game Boy game.
I played the Game Boy Turrican most.
Yeah, no, yes. Universal Soldier was a console conversion of Turrican 2 for the Genesis and Game Boy. So that's why those games make me think of Universal Soldier, because that's what they did. They did that. Those monsters. Did you know that a Doom movie came out last year?
What?
Doom Annihilation was released in 2019.
Name is familiar?
Yeah.
Who was in it? Written and directed by Tony Giglio.
I'm not seeing anyone I've heard of, but I don't necessarily keep
I don't
current
know
with
any of these
actors.
people
So
either.
Amy Manson is in it as Lieutenant Joan Dark. Not Joanne Dark.
Oh no. This person, not the greatest. They wrote Death Race 4.
Okay. All right. Now I'm in.
Okay. Hey, you ever see the movie Gamer?
No, I probably should.
It's pretty good. I like it. It's cheesy. Like it to me is like Crank. You can't take it seriously at all. Like if you try and go in taking it even a little bit seriously, you're gonna not like it.
Yeah, my understanding is that it is good, but like, yeah, my understanding is
turn
that
off your
it's
brain.
Actually, yeah, that it's a very all right movie. Yeah, no, there's a handful of movies I would love to watch at some point here, I guess, but you know, we'll get there someday.
With all that free time you have.
Yes, with all the free time I have, I'll get right on it. Let's take another voicemail here.
Hello, 3 a.m. boys. This is Max from Indianapolis. With the pandemic and everything going on, I assume food crimes are at an all-time high. I recently had a vision of a chili mac and cheese burrito. Boys, it was fantastic. Any food crimes to report, the people need to know. Thank you very much.
Chili mac and cheese burrito sounds totally all right to me.
I had a mac and cheese burrito once that also had fried chicken in it.
That sounds good. So is that just a wrap at that point? Like we got to draw some lines
Yeah, it didn't
here.
have like rice or beans.
Yeah.
or-
I feel like for a long time, my friends and I were obsessed with the idea of a Chinese food burrito, where you would just get
Okay.
a fried rice, or even a chow mein, if you want to go down that way. And then whatever entree you're into, orange chicken, like, or a sesame, like Mongolian beef burrito, basically. And we never did it. I never. It's a very easy thing to realize. You could just get some tortillas and you could get that food and throw one in the other and make it happen. But it's just for whatever reason never materialized. It just became this mythical thing we always talked about and never made happen.
What's the like? I mean, there's a certain fast food one that I remember stories about, but like, what's the weirdest burrito you've ever had?
Probably nothing too weird. I think when people put French fries on burritos, I think that's a little weird. Like, I don't have a problem with it per se, but it's not really something I'm like super hot on.
It's the only time I will prefer crinkle cut fries. Not crinkle. Is crinkle the zigzaggy ones?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't like them 90% of the time, but in a burrito, it's
yeah. I think that makes sense. I like a nice breakfast burrito. Yeah. That's just some scrambled eggs and cheese and a bunch of breakfast meats.
Yeah. What's your go-to protein for a breakfast burrito though?
I'll usually go bacon, even though it's like a little less substantial. I think I just like the taste and flavor and texture of it more. Like I'm pretty iffy on breakfast sausage, to be honest. Like it just gets a little too greasy. It's usually overpowering when you've got a sausage patty in a sandwich. It's just a little too much. Overpowers the egg.
Yeah, I typically only go for that if I'm getting like a McGriddle or something where I'm coming to there specifically for the sweet and savory mix.
See, again, I will do a bacon McGriddle all day long.
I do like a bacon McGriddle
on
too.
that front too. Though they at some point, maybe at some point we'll leave the house again. It'll be beautiful. But they were serving McChicken McGriddles there.
Pretty good. Throw a slice of cheese on there.
Throw a slice of cheese on there. That's definitely the way to go. And
do you know how bad this quarantine got? I mean, yes.
How bad?
You do.
Yeah. How bad did it get?
It got so bad that I nostalgically was remembering eating breakfast at that McDonald's on Market Street.
Yeah. Last week, someone mentioned Subway meatball sandwiches, and I spent a not insignificant amount of time thinking about Subway meatball subs wistfully, like that feels like, and I got depressed. I was just like, fuck, man, I miss these sandwiches. We gotta do something, man.
I miss filling up a fountain cup. I miss that. I miss putting ice and then soda into a big old cup.
I want to put the trash inside me.
Here's what I'm thinking, or here's something I've been thinking about. Whenever okay, you can have gatherings of more than 10 people again thing lifts, right?
Yeah.
Like, let's say it's like, okay, this coming Monday, you're good to go. Are we legitimately going to see like a spike in just like overdose deaths and people just going fucking crazy and like going way overboard and not knowing their tolerances and partying way too hard?
We will see some very dumb shit, and I think we already are, right? I mean,
oh yeah,
like even the slightest hint of like even the weather getting warm is enough for people to go like, well, fuck it, we're going to the beach, and it's like, all right, well, that's a fucking bad idea. Like here, I think they're about to reopen parks with like limited, like, hey, we're gonna let you go to
out.
Yeah, like parks in cities and stuff. Like the parks near my house all have yellow tape around them. They're all like roped off. Like, don't go down this slide, motherfucker. and so I think they're gearing up to open those up again, and loosen some of those, which those seem like reasonable changes. I think our county is getting that tomorrow. If it hasn't happened today, I think that stuff is going to happen. Not that people are out. People are out all over the place. It's, and most of them aren't wearing masks, which is a bummer. But yeah, I don't know. Like, yeah, that's I thought for a minute, like, man, once this stuff is beaten, you're going to see some crazy shit, like people getting out there and just shaking hands for an hour straight and just like rubbing up against each other to generate obscene body heat in the streets and coughing in each other's faces and laughing about it, or, whatever the fuck we're going to do. It'll be real dumb, but I think people are going to start doing that before it is actually safe to do that, and it's going to get real bad.
Yeah. It's going to be another little bump.
Yeah. I think that's the thing is like the hey, when is this going to be over stuff is like, it's not, I don't know. Like, I'm thinking, like, when will we go back into an office, especially as we're talking about, like, hey, what are we going to do that kind of, fills in and replaces what E3 was and what do we do content-wise and stuff. Like, there's been conversations where it's like, well, maybe one person, like, if we needed someone in the office for like technical reasons, maybe you could have like one or two people there as long as they were spread out doing production work or something, and then the rest of us are at home to do this. But I don't think actually, with the way we run, I don't think having someone in the office would help us do anything better. So it's weird. But it doesn't. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it doesn't seem like it's going to happen anytime soon, and I think there'll be a lot of things that do start to open up, but I suspect we will probably still be here doing this sort of stuff because there's no reason for us to kind of go back in yet or something, which I'm starting to get antsy. Like, I'm fantasies about sandwiches, it's like I'm like minutes away from that whole thing of just like looking at the baby and like then having her turn into a meatball sub in my hands. And no. Like those sorts of hallucinations, like of garbage food. But maybe at some point I will just crack and because that's kind of self-imposed, honestly. Like a lot of that stuff is open for takeout and delivery, and I could be eating meatball subs every day if I really wanted to live that life. But we've decided to not get prepared food delivered. Just limited contact. Like it's not like to have those interactions to have that spike and increase in human interaction just doesn't seem like a great idea right now. So we've been like limiting it to shopping for food and then getting a bunch of it and then spending weeks preparing it or whatever. Like the thing that seems like the thing to do. But
we've done, the only thing we really do is pizza, just because we feel like that's something that like once it's made, it goes through the oven and then doesn't really touch hands again, and then you can wipe down the box fairly easily.
Totally. Yeah, and even the FDA regulations have been updated to be like, hey, it's really not that big of a hassle. Like you could wipe stuff down if you want, but
we used to wipe down every grocery when we would go shopping, and then I read an article that was just like, there's been 0 confirmed cases of people like getting it from something that they got from the grocery store. So,
right, yeah. So we're still doing some light wiping on stuff and things like that here and there. But the first time I wiped down groceries, I was like white knuckle, like it was like I was handling a fucking bomb. It was like, all right, I can't touch anything. If I touch something, I need to clean that too. And it was like this really,
might as well burn my skin off. Yeah,
like kind of. And now I'm like, okay, all right, like we're gonna throw some wipes on here. We're gonna do some wiping and it's probably okay and not a big deal. It's just I just don't want to get this baby sick, and obviously me and my wife, I don't want to get nobody sick. So let's take the next voicemail.
Hey Jeff and Ben, I'm a little drunk right now. It's not 3 a.m., but I figured what better time to call than just being a little wasted. being that I am in this state, I'm probably going to play some Final Fantasy VII Remake right now. And I was wondering, what other games would you want to see, not necessarily remade in the fashion of Final Fantasy VII, but what other old school, be like PS1 or N64, Super Nintendo, Genesis games, what games would you like to see be remade? Thanks.
Yeah, I mean, this is on brand, but Mystical Ninja starring Goemon, I think Impact would look real nice in 1080p.
I think if someone did a full-on remake of the first Legacy of Kain,
Ooh,
that might be cool.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of games that I've like wanted to play, but just for whatever reason, I'm playing this would not be fun in 2020.
Yeah,
Bugged them for sure. Zombie Pie nailed it.
yeah, bugged them for sure.
I want to see. I don't know why this came to me, but I want to see Arxis style, an Arxis looking Parappa, because you can do the like 3D camera
but
spin
it's still paper, so
yeah.
yeah. I mean, they kind of play around with that just like a slight bit. Did you play much PlayStation AllStars? I mean, I know no human did, but
Seth Gilligan did.
Yeah, Seth Gilligan did. He really did. There's some part of me that keeps wanting to go back and look at that again, and I don't know why. That's the end of the sentence. I don't know why, but
The thing about that game is like the whole mechanic of like you can build level 1 or level 3 supers. It's like some characters' level 1 things were just like so broken that there's no reason you wouldn't pick them and ever build beyond level 1. It was just like so poorly designed for a game that had some real talented people attached to it.
So I would never look at a game like that for balance or like actual competitiveness. I think I just want to go back to it and see those characters interacting with each other and be reminded of like what were the moves they chose for these characters to like immortalize them. They were like, we want to make a new version of Parappa or whatever. Like, what did they decide to do with it? Because I just don't even remember. I just don't even remember at this point. But yeah. I don't know why that game is weirdly on my mind off and on over the years of just like, I think probably because it was just like this massive failure. But at the time there were people who were so excited for it, and you had like these like weird, it was like, like the weird fanboy shit, but people were like, yeah, that's right. Fuck you, Smash Brothers. Like people being like, yeah, the Sony stuff, this roster's way, fuck Smash Brothers. These characters are way better. And I'm like, look, hey, I like a lot of these characters, but the other game has Mario and Link in it, you motherfuckers. What the fuck is wrong with you?
You ever hear of this guy named Pikachu?
Yeah, like come on. Don't be stupid. But it was still it was a fascinating thing. It's a fascinating game. But then it came out, like I remember just like seeing it pre-release and going like, it's cool that you're making this, man. Whew. And then it came out and it just seemed like just super, super dead on arrival. But hey, what are you gonna do? We're gonna take him to the voicemail. That's what we're gonna do.
That's what we're gonna do.
Hey, Jeff and Ben. The Insane Clown Posse has canceled their tours for the whole year, obviously because of coronavirus. But that kind of makes me believe that the Insane Clown Posse has some common sense. On the scale of 1 to 10, where would you actually rank the Insane Clown Posse in terms of insanity? Thanks.
I think they're extremely sane.
Yeah, I mean I would put them around a 5 because they are insane, but they're sane when they need to be.
Yeah, they put on a show.
Yes.
And sometimes they are actually maybe a little dumb, but they seem to mean well. Yes. And that's cool. They were very cool about canceling the gathering and being like, yeah, we don't want our fans to die, which because they as
opposed to the normal deaths that happen at the gathering.
Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. But the on Instagram, they were like in the early days of all this shit, they were goofing around, be like, "Yo, you just need to eat dirty snow." They just had like at a time when I was not here for coronavirus jokes, and I'm still maybe not. They had them in spades, and I was like, "These motherfuckers." But then when they canceled it and had this statement of just like, "Hey, look, like we don't want to do that." They launched their own Cameo ripoff. We talked about this last week, but they are on Cameo, or they were on Cameo. I don't know if they still are, but they launched a specific ICP focused Cameo where you can pay them hundreds of dollars for shout outs. And I don't.
That's smart. I mean, you can like I saw somebody on Twitter that's like, "Yo, just Venmo me and I'll do a thing for you. Just cut out that middleman."
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. So they produced a trailer, all this other stuff. Like they're a machine in a lot of ways. Like they're like Kiss in more ways than one, where I think that their true strengths are not in the music, and as far as I'm concerned, have not been in the music for decades. 20 years ago, there was some ICP that I felt was worth listening to, and I've not felt that way about anything in a long time. But they are a marketing juggernaut. Like, they know how to package it up. They know their fan base. They know how to monetize that fan base with merchandise and hockey jerseys and such. And they've been very smart about that sort of stuff. So, I was gonna say good on them, I guess. I don't know. Maybe that's not a good on them scenario, but yeah. How about we take the next voicemail? We got two more.
Hey, 3am boys. I was just on one of those 80s covers of a current song YouTube channels. It's not very good, but the comment section is all about like role playing as if current day music actually was happening in the 80s. So they're talking about Billie Eilish dating Michael Jackson, and then other comments are talking about Billie and Ariana Grande feuding. But then later in the comment section, they seem to be role playing that Doja Cat died.
Oh no!
That she overdosed on drugs. Jar Jar Binks says that he met his wife to this song. It's a new song. He didn't meet his wife at prom. Anyway, what weird YouTube holes are you down? This one says Doja Cat was shot. She wasn't. This is not real. What is this? What YouTube holes are you getting into in lockdown? Thank you. Be safe, Doja Cat. Thank you.
Be safe, Doja Cat.
Be safe, Doja Cat. Just watched Doja Cat's episode of The Cave last night.
Oh, how was it?
It's good. She's good.
I like Doja Cat.
Yeah.
I remember watching that "Bitch I'm a Cow" video and being like, "Huh."
Yeah,
That's cool.
I'm not huge into it. It's all right. She's all right. It's all right.
Hopefully, is not shot.
No, hopefully she is not shot. Yes. Hopefully Doja Cat has not been shot. YouTube holes. I feel like I just see a fair amount of bad people, and where it's like they're very angry about things that, like, as they're describing how angry they are about this thing that happened to them, like, even their version of the story, as you listen to it, you're like, oh, this is totally this person's fault. This is totally, like, this is not, like, this, they brought this on themselves. Like, as you're listening to them describe it, you're just like, oh, God, you were the worst. I feel like that's been the sort of stuff I've been catching here and there lately.
I had a real deep dive on some Silva Gunner.
Nice.
It had been a while.
Yeah, I was listening to that the feed of people using AI, the vocal synthesis channel, where they're using Tacotron 2 software to make fake voices, and that they've got a really good synthesized fake Jay-Z that they're just having read copy pastas and all this other dumb shit. Like, it's just, that's great. That's great. I, for a long time, have wanted to turn my voice into some kind of, voice print, like AI voice thing. And now that technology is here, and I don't quite know how to set it up, but boy, I want to do it, and I don't know why. It seems like a bad thing to have a fake version of your own voice, but I want that, and I don't know. I want to be a Vocaloid. I want to be a Vocaloid.
I want you to be a Vocaloid too, Jeff.
Yeah, I want that. And it seems like the tech is there for that to happen. But I was looking. This is literally last night. I was looking at the software Tacotron 2, which is apparently the software that NVIDIA made that is for this stuff.
You could be Tron Gerstmann for real.
Yeah, I could be. I could live. Is it really just part of that? Is that why? Do I just want to live in the computer, and that this is the first step?
This is the first step,
man,
to being a computer.
I want to be a computer, and yeah, I want to do this. If I can figure out a way to set this up and make this happen, I will record whatever source audio I need to record of me reading all the syllables or whatever needs to happen to make an AI version of my voice that we can then make rap. And then I can rap against my AI self and see who's better.
Epic rap battle of history.
That's
Jeff
right.
Gerstmann versus Jeff Gerstmann.
That's right. Exactly. Yeah, I want to do that. I don't know why. But I've wanted that again. I've wanted that for a long time, and I don't know why. But finding out last night that people were out there doing it as a goof on fucking YouTube, with like publicly available audio from like Jay-Z acapellas and president speeches and shit like that, I was like, oh fuck, wait a minute. This is finally something I can realize, and I want to do that. Let's listen to our last voicemail here.
Yo, what's up, 3 a.m. boys? A lot of people talk about tropes in games that they don't like to see. But I'm playing Final Fantasy VII remake here, and they don't give you your HP and MP back when you level up. And I'm frankly pretty disappointed to not see that. That's like an essential trope. What are some essential tropes that you love to see in a video game instead of hate to see? Peace.
Something RPG specific that I thought I wanted in Final Fantasy VII Remake before I realized how important keeping all the weapons are is as soon as you buy something, you can then immediately equip it and sell the old one all in one button press. Just like not having to exit the shop, go equip it, unequip the other one, go sell it. It's not a trope, I guess, but it's the first thing that's springing to mind.
I think it's a lot of the loot as junk and sell all junk, and a lot of the stuff that streamlines picking up items and inventory management and stuff. That's trope is, again, maybe not the perfect word for any of this stuff, but that's a thing that I need to see, especially as more games become loot games for whatever reason. That's kind of a must-have sort of thing at this point. And yeah. Davo42 says, make your Vocaloid and then release your hit album on Spotify. Yeah, that's kind of, that would be fun. What if I had my Vocaloid just sing harmonies and then I sang the real parts? Or did I?
Which one's the real one?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. That's something I would love to make happen at some point here. And that software seems like it's, like I said, it's out there now. People are doing it as a goof. It's just a matter of like, you have to compile a bunch of shit, and I was looking at all of that and then just going like, I don't know how to actually set this stuff up. So I kind of hit a wall there, but I will keep looking at it. Someone will eventually write a fun tutorial about how to do exactly this, and then I will do it. I need to do it. And then I'll sue a bunch of people who use it. for bad stuff. Yeah, so then I'll make some money. Yeah, all right. This is okay.
Here we go. That's
this
the
is
end
my
game.
new end game. Get rich. We're gonna get paid.
Yeah.
We are going to get paid.
Yeah.
That's the goal.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. That's gonna do it for the show. Thanks everybody for watching this week, or listening if you're listening later, or maybe watching later, I guess. We'll be back next week with more podcasts. That's AllStars Friday. We got some stuff hitting the site around that time. Just kind of worked out that way, weirdly enough. But thanks everybody for your support and for sticking with us. I know it's been a crazy time. Hopefully we've helped take some of your mind off of some of that stuff, though. Just want a meatball sub, man. All right. We'll be back next week. Take care, everybody. Bye.
Bye.